Good morning, friends. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everyone is having an awesome Saturday. I am super excited because we are welcoming Mary from Blessed to Crochet. Thank you for joining us for Coffee and Conversations, and thank you for viewing in. If you're in the chat during this live stream, or if you catch this live stream in the replay mode after this live stream, we want to say welcome and thank you. And don't forget to leave us a message in the chat so that we know that you stopped by. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, everybody.
And a special good morning to you and your viewers as well. This episode of Coffee and Conversation is being streamed from both of our channels. So it doesn't matter how you entered, you are here in the right place at the right time. I am so excited for this. Let me check our chat. Chat's blowing up already. I love to see that. And we'll say good morning to our chatters in just a second. Mary, tell us, just give us the shorter version of Blessed to Crochet, and then we'll get started from there. How about that?
Well, we're a channel that does not focus on crochet.
Say what,
we are
Mary?
we are a channel that focuses on connection. And there is a very, very important reason why we focus on connection. Back in 23 23 or 24? 24, April of 24.
Mm-hmm.
I found YouTube and realized this is a place more than just, guess what? Place you can watch videos. There's community here. And I found it. And as someone who deals with a chronic condition, I have fibromyalgia. It's a chronic pain condition. There are a lot of days I cannot go out and do things. And so I found communities and chats. I have found friends through this. And then in December of 23, my aunt was diagnosed. It was 23. Was diagnosed with stage 4 liver and lung cancer. And that was very difficult. And as well as it is also the passing of my dad and my grandfather. They both passed away December 31st and January 1st. So those days were very difficult for me. Mm-hmm. And so it was the people through the communities that I met. I have a wonderful, not by blood sister, but she is a sister to me over in Australia. And she was, of course, different time zones. So she was there through Facebook for me to call in the middle of the night when I couldn't sleep just to talk. And that's where that connection came. So, just came together. And it was in 24 where I thought, we've got this channel already. We were just using it to show off our crochet, my mom and I. Let's just go on here. And I hit that live button on January 13th, and I'm glad I haven't looked back.
You have not. You have not. Thank you for sharing a little bit about your first channel, and we're going to talk about both channels this morning. So don't worry about that. Friends are already cross-pollinating in the chat, and I just love to see how both of the communities from each of our channels are coming together and just blending ourselves and getting to know one another. This is going to be a great one. I can already feel it. This is going to be a great interview morning. It's a beautiful day outside. God did that. And yes. The sun is shining bright on me, and the sun is shining bright on you. And I'm talking about the sun, S-O-N, as well.
Yes.
Hey, that was a word for somebody. That was a word for somebody. I started the coffee machine. I put water in it. I have my coffee cup in it. I've got a little bit of creamer in it. And then I realized I pulled out my little drawer with all the K-Pots. I got to open a whole new box of K-Pots, and they're in a box and shrink wrapped because they came from Amazon. And so I may not have coffee this morning, but I've got water, and so this is coffee. Mary, don't mind me. That's Candy
I
K
love
just being
it.
Candy K.
I
Mary,
love it.
drinking coffee. How do you take your coffee?
Cream and sugar, and of course a
Yes.
little cream flavored creamer
Yeah.
on our link tree. And I would highly recommend it. Something that we've used. It is a free service for anybody that does have a YouTube channel that is trying to put all of your links together in one place.
Uh-huh.
Linktree is free, and we use that. So on our Linktree, my husband and I found a great coffee company called Coffee AM. We get 5 pounds of coffee when we order. We order like 20 pounds of coffee. It lasts
So
us a
you've
long
got two
time.
coffee drinkers in the house.
Yes, and we like our flavored coffee. It is the only coffee company that I have found that doesn't bother his stomach, and it
Hmm.
is delicious coffee. And we even have the referral link on our link tree. But that is a great place to be able to have all of your links in one place. And then also on the other side, if you are part of Amazon affiliate program, which we are, we can
Hmm.
put all of those links on the other side. It has like a shop and like a free side. You can upgrade, but right now we're using the free version, and that's a
And you're able to
great
do all of
tool.
that through the free version of Linktree.
Yes,
See,
yes,
already Mary's already dropping gems of information from a content creation perspective. So we want to learn more about Mary and Blessed to Crochet, your first channel. We want to hear more about your second channel, and we want to hear more about your channel and you, your life, your mom, your daughter, husband, dog, all of those things. And then we want
yes.
to talk content creation. And so we'll try to do the personal part of this thing so folks can get more for Blessed to Crochet and your personality, how you show up in the world. And then we'll move more towards content creation. We'll have a little fun round that kind of breaks things up for me. That's what we intend to do. But who knows? Candy K, Candy K is just being Candy K. Yeah, this is how Candy K is without coffee. Yeah, you get all that without a coffee. So I am limiting myself, Mary, to 1 cup of, well, I'm just cutting back. And now I'm down to 1 cup of coffee a week unless I'm stressed. And so I've not had that cup yet because I normally reserve it for either Saturday mornings or Sunday mornings. And I have some fresh coffee. I'll just need to break it open. And so I don't know if I'll get my cup yet today, but because I like you, I like my coffee sweet with flavored creamer and sugar. Sorry. So that's why I'm on a health journey as well. I'm working with a
I use
dietitian.
sugar in the raw, and
Oh,
that's what we use instead of using the regular white sugar. I don't even
mm-hmm.
like the taste of it in my coffee. And one thing that coffee does, I'm an asthmatic. So
Okay.
coffee for an asthmatic helps to actually open their bronchial tubes. And I found out if I have my coffee, and
Oh,
I have a bigger cup than this. I have my mama bear cup usually in the morning, about a
that's a
28
lot of
ounce cup of
coffee, Mary.
coffee.
Uh-huh.
But I find if I do that, I don't need any inhalers or anything like that very often. So I'll stick with my 2 cups of coffee a day.
I hear you. I had coffee. Did I? Yeah, I drank coffee
Yeah.
last night because I did a live stream with some over 40 folks and it was a hoot. It was awesome. So let's say welcome to some of our guests. And looks like that's someone that you should know.
Yes, Lydia is wonderful. She has a channel too as well.
All right. And so that will be Yarn Works by Lydia. Welcome, Lydia.
She's a great supporter.
Shatika.
Yep.
Welcome, Shatika. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And y'all, they are coming in. There's our friend, artfully becoming friend for both of us. Um, Sugar in the raw is yummy. It is. It's totally different
Yeah.
flavor from white sugar. To me, it is.
Kristen, Melinda.
Oh, you see them? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I
Sandy
see them
Mandy.
now.
Yeah. Kristen is one
Oh,
of those people that I found that, as well as Sandy, that have certainly become like sisters. I'm an only child, so I've gained some sisters and brothers through this, and it's so precious. It really is.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yep.
And I'm asking, I've got some mods in the room. If you are a mod on my side, would you drop Mary and Blessed to Crochet's channel link, and then I will pin it to the top of my stream, and so folks can capture that. And
And
I
I've
see that
pinned mine.
Mary, yeah,
I've
Mary
pinned
is
your channel.
dropping my channel
I've
link on her side so that folks in your community, if they are interested, they can link up with us. And that's how we do it. That's how you grow. It's called collaborate and grow, friends. Y'all give me
yes.
just a second. I taking care of some housekeeping businesses over here and behind the scenes. And I can't do two things at once. Why? Because I've had no coffee. Go ahead, Mary.
I've pinned Kendra's channel too on the very top of Blessed to Crochet. But when we have to realize we are building a community, not an audience, and I will tell you why. And I'm hopefully going to get through it without a bunch of tears. But again, I told you that in December of 23, my aunt was diagnosed with stage 4 liver and lung cancer. And in August, around August, July of 24, they told her that there was really nothing that they could do any further for her. And of course, she was going through chemo and all of the treatments for that. And she was financially just tight with funds. And it was our community that came together to make sure that she had one more wish. And that wish was to come and give us all one last hug.
Mm-mm.
And they all came together. People donated to get a ticket for her to come up here. She lived in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
We live in Ohio. I cannot wait for fall to come up here and see her family one more time. And we were able to raise money for the ticket. We had a friend of mine who's a travel agent that has a channel too as well.
Mm-hmm.
She came together and helped with getting the tickets all arranged and finding all the details. Because even just looking at that, I mean, the minute I started looking at that, I cried. She came up here for a week. We got to see her, and then 3 weeks later, she got sick and she would have never been able to come up here. My daughter and her went for horseback riding through in Ohio. There's a place that you can go horseback riding near us. They went on a horseback together. I have a wonderful picture of her on a horse. It's just one of my favorite pictures. And on March 10th of or March 9th
Mm-hmm.
of this year, she passed. And so I got that one last hug, but it
Yeah.
was because of our community. And it wasn't just the people that were able to donate, it was the people that were there because we went up. My daughter lives about an hour away. We went up and I said, the only time I'll show up at your house unannounced and uninvited is if somebody passes or something happens to your dog, which that's Mocha on her channel. And we showed up in her driveway and we were on the phone with her. And I said, we're in your driveway. And she knew exactly from that response. But again, when I had to go live telling people that she had passed, the community
Oh,
came
yeah.
together. They were there to support me through my grief and through the struggles of losing her. Um, that's why I'm so passionate about building community and building support. I'm also a mother who has raised a special needs child. I know what it's like to feel very lonely. A lot of times, what happens in a special needs world is people don't quite understand what you're going through. They don't want to take the time to understand what you're going through, and they kind of just dissipate. And I have to say, sometimes the parents are worse than the kids. She wasn't
Mm.
invited to birthday parties. I wasn't interacted with much because they knew something was different. My daughter is high functioning autistic, but she is wonderful and amazing. And I was very lonely. And I wish I'd had something like what we're growing here through YouTube and building that community. And when my
Yeah.
dad, who had dementia, forgot who I was, I prayed
Mm.
he would forget my name before my daughter's because I knew I could handle it. And I remember going over in 2013 and I said, "Hi, Dad." And he said, "Nice to meet you." And I said, "He's forgotten." And I said, "Dad, I'm your daughter." He said, "You are?" And I said, "Yes." And we lived next door to each other, so I could help. And I went home and I just cried
Yeah.
in the bathroom. And I thought I didn't have a community to go to and say, today's the day my dad forgot my name. And he passed in 21 and he never said it again after that. So that's why I think people need to realize really the amazing thing that community can do through YouTube that I don't think sometimes we forget. When you hook into these communities like Kendra K and like us and so many other
Mhm.
great communities out there, it's amazing to see what happens.
Okay. Yeah. So I sent you a little note, a little housekeeping note in the private chat. So if you would check that for me in StreamYard. Yeah. This, as you can see, Mary is all about community. And that is, I think that's why, y'all, so many friends, so many folks in general are not, absolutely not watching network TV any longer. I know I don't personally. When I want to watch TV, I watch YouTube. And because it's the best of reality TV, right? It is folks' real life and how they show up in this world authentically. It is folks who have real problems, just like we all do. The grass, when you get to be a woman of a particular age, like myself, I'll be 50 in October. The grass, it was never greener on the other side. It was just a matter of perspective, and it only
Yeah.
looks greener on the other side of the fence. But they've got brown spots and weeds in their yard, in their life as well. So yeah, I totally lean into your content because you speak so highly of the community and that sense of community and sense of belonging. And I know that that is one reason why I love YouTube and watch more YouTube than anything. First of all, I'm trying to escape the problems of this world. Have y'all noticed? We got a lot going on in this country
Yep.
and around the world. And so I just like to surround myself with happiness and goodness and folks being kind. Mary, that's what I like is folks being kind, and you're good people, and I had seen you in the YouTube streets, and I'm so glad we were able to connect and make this interview happen. This is Blessed to Crochet, and this is Mary. And tell us how you all started the Blessed to Crochet channel. And really, I think you said it already, but you are crocheting connections, not necessarily doing a single stitch or a double stitch. Is that what they call it? A
Um,
double
a
crochet.
single crochet, double crochet.
I know how to crochet, but as you can tell, not very well because it didn't do all the things that crocheting does for me. But enough of me. Mary, tell us why you all thought of the channel Blessed to Crochet, you and your mom.
Well, originally it was just a place I thought I'll just show off our crochet because my daughter got married, which was another thank you, Lord. I wasn't expecting as a mother of a special needs autistic daughter. And she got married. I only have one child. I'm an only child myself as well. And so I kind of was like, we got empty nest syndrome real fast. And I thought I'll just start. I started doing blankets for people, which I out of anything that I do, I love doing my blankets. And so I thought, we'll just show this off. I'll just use that for that. And it was actually someone who inspired me in June of 24. I thought, well, I've got this channel. Let's just go for it. I'll hit the live button and see what happens. Now, I want to say this to anybody that's out there in the YouTube streets that has a channel. We need to realize we all have channels through YouTube. Some people put content on, some people don't put content on. And this is my bedroom. It's no fancy anything. We live in an apartment. And so if you're thinking, I don't have any place that I can do this, find a little nook someplace and do it. Um, we started with a $30 camera, and everybody seems to like this microphone. I can also change
I
the
keep
colors.
seeing folks with that microphone. I didn't look. I didn't even know it was a microphone. I thought it was just something for ASMR with the lights.
So we do, I did a $30 microphone and I did a $30 camera, and I tried in my crafty way of doing things to go to a Dollar Tree and put like make a back thing, which did not work. You can see it on our first live. It looked terrible.
Mhm.
And I found this behind me for $10 on OfferUp. And I thought, okay, it's a photo room divider because behind there
Mhm.
is my TV. And I thought,
Okay.
"Hey, they're looking at my TV." And so I thought, I can find some purple and, um, turquoise yarn, which is, colors of Blessed to Crochet, and, I can fix it up and do something. So it doesn't need much to hit that live button. You can do it right through YouTube. You can use, StreamYard's free service, but just do it. If you have s we all have stories to tell. And even if it's just to think about doing it, which is another reason why we're doing this, is because I will hopefully have grandchildren one day. It was one thing I never thought I would be able to have, possibly having a special needs daughter. And I hope for this channel it becomes a legacy for
Mhm.
them. They get to see, I've been able to put recipes up on the channel that were special to my daughter that I want my grandchildren maybe to be able to have coming from me. Devotionals. We went to a car show last night at a festival. Um, uh, we have trying to think, I put quotes up every Monday, or I try to. Sometimes I miss them. We do channel shout outs every solitary day, and we do one individual a channel shout out. You have a channel shout out coming out up, I believe, on the 23rd. So I've given you a channel shout out on our channel.
Oh, I
And
appreciate that.
we do
Thank
that
you.
on both of our channels. And then what we do is we take the weekly channel shout outs and we put them in a recap on Monday at 8 p.m. We try to throw some jokes in. We put up mocha, we put up singing. It's a smorgasbord, but at the same time, growing a community and having that connection and support is exactly why we're doing Blessed to Crochet. So it started just because I thought I'm going to hit the live button and see what this does. And we say we're blessed to crochet, but you are blessed to do something. So even if you're someone's, I don't want to do revenue, I don't want to do that. And all the revenue that comes in from our channel goes to my mother. I needed the connection. I had to have the connection. I said, Mom, you take the revenue. She took care of my dad for 7 years. She never had, a retirement life with him as a dementia patient. And I said, you take this. If you have some bills that need to be paid or need a new pair of shoes, you do whatever you want with it. I need the connection because when you're dealing with chronic pain,
Mhm.
it's kind of like, those tap lights that you hit, and they go on and off. Well, if you've
Mhm.
worked out or if you're done something and you're sore or you're hurting or you have a headache, you can hit that. You can take 2 Tylenol or aspirin, hit that pain button. That pain button eventually is going to go off.
Mhm.
Uh, a chronic pain patient, fibromyalgia patient, their button stays on. Their light is always on. It just depends on the severity of their pain. And
Right.
so I never stop hurting. And if I sit in self, with myself and say, I'm hurting, this hurts, you're going to go, you have to find something that you can do. So I get lost in Canva. I get lost in my
Okay.
crochet. And I
Mhm.
can tell you when I've gone live and I thought, I don't feel like I want to go live today. And I've gone live, my community comes in and like, I feel better when I get off. And so it helps when you're sitting there going, I'm hurting every solitary day. There's never a break.
Yeah. So
And
you
there's
put
so
your
much.
energies into your live streams and connecting with folks, and then not that you're not still in pain physically, but you can take your attention and put your energies and attention to something more
Yeah, and
positive and better.
there's a lot more with fibromyalgia. You can have
Okay.
migraines. I get what's kind of like pain chills where I can just, I mean, it can be 90 degrees out. I'm just shivering under about 5
Mm-hmm.
blankets, and I have to lay really still for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to also build a community of people that came together because not a lot of people understand fibromyalgia. There's anxiety, there's depression, there's migraines, there's the lack of going to sleep and waking up going, did I really sleep? Did I have any sleep
Right.
tonight? No, I
Right.
didn't. And so I wanted people that have that to come and have a place to just, have that support and have somebody that understands what it's like to raise a special needs child and do all the, deal with chronic pain and have
Hmm.
a father that had dementia. I've had people coming in and I'm like, I know what that's like, to just have to go through that walk. It's not easy from any way you look at it.
Yes, I know people who have had fibromyalgia, and is it an autoimmune disease or?
It is an autoimmune disease, and it does change you. I got it in
Hmm.
2013. It changes you because you're dealing with chronic pain. I've
Chronic
had
pain.
about 3 weeks of sciatic pain, which I have
Mm.
not the greatest back in the world, and so that's getting very tiring very quickly.
Hmm.
My doctor finally said, "I'm going to give you a round of medication to help calm that down," because I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm
I'm
done.
starting to have some sciatic nerve pain. What I believe, I'm self-diagnosing this, but it's certainly on my list for my doctor, because I'm pretty sure that it's sciatic nerve pain.
Well, I when we get to heaven, I'm gonna ask God why he put that in there because no doctor's been able to tell me why.
Yeah, yeah. But a lot of people our age, I'm turning 50 in October, but
Yeah,
a
I
lot
already
of
did
folks
that.
are starting to have, yeah, are hurting and pain. Have y'all seen the abundance of doctors who specialize in pain management? So one good thing modern medicine is allowing us to live longer, for our parents to live longer. And it's just my mom. We lost my father in 2017, this month in 2017, and um, I just start
So
to feel, I just remembering him and remembering, so unexpected, when we lost my father, just but is any death expected? But yeah, when we lost my father in 2017, August 2017, yeah, you just have to try to find a new normal. And YouTube can be that
yeah,
community, that comfort, that hug, that support. And like you said, having a good friend now that you've connected with, so much so that you called her a sister, even someone outside of this country. That's amazing. That's
yeah.
amazing. Share a little bit about the newest channel, which is Bless.
Blessings through connection.
Okay,
And
tell us a little bit about that one.
what we're doing with that, when you go into both of our community posts, we are doing we have our channel shout outs. They're very unique. I've not seen them. I know people do channel shout outs and they put a lot of different channels in there, which is fine. That's awesome. The more we can share ourselves out, the better, but we can help each other grow. But we want to focus on one individual. So we do it like a picture. We take your avatar and we put that in a specific thing and we give that person that shout out for that day. But we do that on both channels. We have created a theme song for Blessed to Crochet and for Blessings Through Connection, which we use for those channel shout outs to again do that. And when we go through Blessed to Crochet, we also, when we're in this setting, we run the recap and drop people's, channels so they can find them and help, find those great content creators. And we do that also in Blessings Through Connection. We run the recap at least once or twice during the live stream. We are not live during that. This is another thing that, too, if people are thinking, I don't want to do lives, I'm not comfortable doing lives, you will eventually get comfortable. You just got to do it. And you're going to make mistakes, but you just got to do it.
Mary, I'm still not comfortable during lives.
You can't tell. I'm telling you, I watched several of your interviews and I thought, man, she is amazing and amazing at doing this. You can't tell. I just
I
loved it.
can't even sit still, Mary. Do you see? I just go from one thing to the next.
And so, but it's something to think about if you're kind of like, I don't really want to, we've all heard of those faceless lives kind of thing. But we don't want to do that necessarily. But I have little video clips through. I'll be adding some more, changing the microphone to green from purple because purple is one of Blessed to Crochet's colors. And we do video clips and we have everybody come in. Eventually, we may have to change it so that we use Nightbot to allow people to put their links in. But right now, we just make everybody a mod so that they can go and connect. Now, we really focus on making sure people realize there is a way to do this appropriately. You've got to do it right, or don't bother doing it at all.
Yeah.
Uh, if you go over to someone's channel, watch about at least 3 minutes or more of their content. If you cannot do that at the time, make yourself a private playlist, put in like a short, and then when the live is over, go back and make those connections properly. Comment, watch a video, interact with them. That's the right way to make those connections happen. And so we really focus on making sure that it's done, correctly, and a
Hmm.
way that's going to help everybody. And we
Right.
actually say, if they don't have content, still go ahead and maybe hit that button, because they may want to say, "Oh, I've got 200 or 300 subscribers. Maybe I'll start putting up some content." You never know. But we just want people to come in, chat, content creators to find other content creators, as well as those that don't have content, maybe to start to get to know us a little bit
Hmm.
in a much more relaxed setting.
Yeah.
We do our channel shout outs, we do our YouTube shuffle in there, that song too, as well, that we created, Connection to the Right,
I
Connection to
don't
the
know that
Left.
I've heard that one.
YouTube shuffle, and we play that in there. We have a little car that I created. Her name is Lizzie. That was my great grandmother, and this is a little car, so cute.
Hmm.
And we're going to start putting that on merchandise, and it's going to say "Keep those connection engines going." And
Oh, that's cute.
we have relaxing music. We have, just a relaxing loop going throughout the thing. And what we've done is we've actually taken the music and the background of whatever we have, the video background, and we do something called calming streams. And those run for about 6 to 8 hours. And we
Hmm.
totally, um, totally turn off the comments. But then people really were coming in there just to enjoy that. They wanted
Hmm.
to enjoy the
And I've caught
background
that.
and the music,
Hmm.
and they loved it.
I've played that while I was doing my workday because I still work full time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So we did that. And the one thing that I'll say is we use something called Pixelbay. I would suggest highly that, even though it says free, when you download a video background or a music background, take the time and put it in like InShot or some kind of editing software, CapCut, whatever, in order to make it an over 3 minute thing, because otherwise I'll put it up as a short. And make sure you go in and put it in as a video, because you
Hmm.
want to see and let it sit there for a little bit. Is it going to be a problem? And I've come across
What do you mean by that? So
one.
it's from a content creation.
No, it can't be monetized. There's a problem.
Okay.
And so you want to make sure that you're coming through and they say no restrictions. Because we did some streams too, some coming streams on Blessed to Crochet. And when we got monetized, they said, sorry, we can't monetize that. So just run it, just put it in the back, put it as an unlisted or private, let it upload, let them do all of their checks that they want to do, and make sure it's not going to come back as an issue. But a lot of them will say free, and I've had very, very few problems. But I do that just as a check. And we
Yeah.
use something called stock cake. If you see a lot of our thumbnails, we use stock cake so much.
Hmm.
Originally, it was free to download. They've changed it to 3 downloads a day, um, and they'll charge like $10, for a month subscription, and we pay that, because if we're doing our Bible verses, which we
Hmm.
have to get caught up with, or any of our thumbnails, I could go through using 20 or 30 pictures a day, and they're high
Hmm.
resolution pictures, and then I take them into Canva and do editing. But it's a great place. It's totally free as far as the pictures. I've not had one problem with YouTube
Good.
coming back saying you can't use this picture, and it's stock cake.
Stock cake is one word.
Hmm.
Okay, y'all heard it here first. So thank you, Mary, for kind of helping folks who might be new to content creation. And y'all, I am frankly new to YouTube. So, Mary, just for clarification, you have had the channel Blessed to Crochet since when?
Since January 13th was the first 24, the first, and on
Oh,
our channel, I just dropped the link for Stock Cake.
okay.
Um,
Okay.
the since 24, January 13th of 24.
And so our
And
channels are virtually the same age because I uploaded my first video at the last week of January 2024 because I did not want to miss out on all of my New Year's resolutions in January. So I said I'm going to upload a video, and it was a video about baby succulent plants. It was hideous. So just so you know. But wow, so and you already have Blessed to Crochet fully monetized,
yes, which I
and
never
you
thought
have
was going
now
to happen.
started. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I never thought that was going to happen.
Congratulations. Congratulations. I am in the last mile to full monetization, and I am partially monetized, but we're still in that last mile to full monetization. And so I can't wait for that experience. But I'm learning so much. So I'm really dialed in to the little tidbits, the nuggets you are sharing, because I think it'll help myself and other content creators because you're a little ahead of that and have now started the second channel. And so it, to me, is more of a channel for the creator, for the content creator. Is that right? As far as
Yeah, it
blessing through
is, but
connection?
I also want to make sure that people that say, you know what, I don't want to channel, I don't want to have content.
Okay.
I really want them to come in anyway. Come
Okay.
in and just have that connection. And
Hmm.
by taking us off the screen and not making us live, we're focusing on the chat. Because, see, the magic happens in the chat, not behind the camera.
I like that. The magic
And
happens in the chat.
happens in the chat. I really want to make sure that people absolutely 100% get, that wonderful connection that happens. And so I want to take
I
myself
think
off of
this
it.
somebody got a super chat. I don't know if it's me or if it's you.
I don't see it in my chat.
Okay, maybe it's me. Well, let me interject here then, Mary. And thank you, Spray Can Coins. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. See, y'all, I'm new to it. I'm new to it. I I just got partially monetized. It's not even been a month. So thank you, Spray Can Coins. I love that. Spray can coins. I love that. I think there was a story there, and I'd love to hear more of it. Thank you, friend, for congratulating both of us for this great stream, y'all. This is a great one. I'm enjoying my time this morning, and thank
So much.
everyone for joining in. The chat is just blowing up. I mean, there's just on both sides. I hope you're seeing that too, Mary. I'm trying to give them up so that everyone can see their great comments coming in. Everyone's just talking to
Yeah.
each other and doing all the things. So I like what you said about that. If you are not a content creator, you can still go to Blessings Through
Yep.
Connection because you can get exposed and find out so many great channels that are out there. That there's something about each of us that and how we show up in the world and how we show up on these YouTube streets that resonate with someone for some reason.
Exactly.
And there's a place for everyone here. And there's so much hate in the world. There's so much negativity. I want my channel to be a light
Yep.
and to bring someone a measure of joy, a comfort. And I can feel the same from your channel as well, Mary.
Well, Blessed to Crochet, we say we're a beacon of light. We use lighthouses because my husband and I both love lighthouses. And, that becomes the beacon to be able to shine out there. But, we've had people in Blessings Through Connection just say, hey, I'm going to a family reunion this weekend. What you doing this weekend? And, you're getting that going. Now, once we get monetized, hopefully on that channel eventually, we're going to make it so that maybe we may just do members only lives specifically where we're that, but outside of that, that channel is going to stay. It's got one primary focus. I look at Blessed to Crochet as a smorgasbord with connection on the top
Mm-hmm.
because we've singing and recipes and mocha and all this kind of stuff. And, but that one has a specific, direction that we want that one to go in, and everything that we discuss. And there's Mama's on the channel. She's just
Mm-hmm.
very quiet. So
Okay.
I take after my dad. And so she's she just says, I'll be in the back office, I'll help in the back office stuff, and I'm like, that's fine, Mom. But I try to bring her in because people do enjoy her. Sometimes we'll go in the car and my husband will be there.
Mm-hmm.
I've been married for 18 years. This past July was 18
Congratulations.
years. And I married my best friend, which I'm very, very grateful for.
Yes.
And we help each other. We're both struggle with disabilities. My husband was diagnosed, and he's told this on a YouTube channel before, about 2 years ago, with something called Klinefelter's
Mm-hmm.
disease. It's not disease, but it's called Klinefelter's. And Klinefelter's is meaning that if God certainly needed him for him to be here, that's for sure. But
Mm-hmm.
males with Klinefelter's actually have an extra chromosome. So he has a lot of struggles because he was not diagnosed early enough. So he didn't have all the hormones that he should have had and all of those things. And it's certainly when you go into a doctor's office and they say, well, you're the first patient I've seen out of my textbooks. That's how rare it is. And the
Mm.
doctor's been in practice for about 30 years. So 60% of all Klinefelter's patients don't make it through full term. And his mother was 16 when she had him, so she didn't get any prenatal care. So
Mm-hmm.
God had a plan for this man, for
Yeah.
sure. And most of them do not have and cannot have children of their own. And so my daughter, from the day we got married, that was his kid. That's my daughter. He walked her down the aisle, and my dad, because I came from a marriage that was, just trigger warning, abusive.
Mm-hmm.
I had to leave that. And my dad in the state of Florida, if someone removes rights, someone else has to put them, take them over. And my dad did that for my daughter. I still had all my rights, but on the father's side, he took over for my daughter, her biological father. And so we could not do anything. There was just too much benefits from my dad, military benefits and all that were helping my daughter. So my dad said to me one of these days, he said, before he before he had the dementia and all that, he said,
Mm-hmm.
one of these days when Christina and Josh are ready, and he said, if I'm not here and Josh wants to adopt her, please, I give my full permission when that's something that's right. And
That's
so last year he officially adopted her. So he became all the
okay.
things, but he is certainly, for him to become a dad,
Yeah.
would have been something that would have been not possible. And so God is so good, isn't he?
Isn't it good?
He
Good
is
and very
so
good.
good. And there's a
And very
song that his mother sent him, Miracle Child. And
good.
it's a beautiful, beautiful song. She said, that's my
Mm-hmm.
song for you, because he's a miracle, the fact that he's even here. And a lot of the doctors, unfortunately, go, oh, you're this age and you have this, and we don't know how to help you
Mm.
because it is extremely rare.
I had never heard of that.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's it's hard because I see him in a lot of pain and struggles that he would not have gone through if he had had the right medical treatment. And
Mm-hmm.
when he was in his schooling years, and he went in health class, and he went to his mother and brought his health book home, and he says, I think I have this. And she goes, no, you don't. Sure enough, he did.
Oh wow.
So, but we're trying to get him as much help as we can.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your dog, Mocha. Mocha's the dog, right?
Mocha. And I'm going to
Tell
tell
us
you,
about Mocha.
I'll tell you a little bit about the story behind Mocha,
Okay.
um, because just for anybody that thinks, oh, I don't know what to put on my channel, we started with a video of Mocha, If you go into the shorts, it'll still be the number one short we have put up. And
Mm-hmm.
all it was is I was sending a video 8 seconds long. That's
Mm-hmm.
all it was, to my aunt, not the aunt that passed away, but another aunt who was coming to visit us. So she knew what this dog looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just me looking down and saying, "Hi, Mocha. Hi, sweetheart." And she did her little staffy. She's a Staffordshire Bull Terrier. And she did her little tilt. And
Mm-hmm.
I put it up. I didn't do anything fancy to it. I just put it up as is. I put it up, I went to bed, and literally the next day we went from like 50 subscribers to 150 subscribers. And I thought, there's a possibility that we could get monetized. There's a possibility for it. It has been published. I think I hit that it was good for kids, which I don't recommend ever doing, but I didn't know what I
Oh.
was doing, so I just did it.
Mm-hmm.
It has gotten over 10,000 views of that little dog
Wowzer.
just tilting her head. So look in your phones. You may have gems in there that you didn't intend to, that you can put together and make something, and it could go viral. You just never know.
People and their
But
pets. People love animals, even if they're not their own. People love
yes,
animals. That is a
yeah.
great viewing audience, as Mary has seen. Yeah, lean into that.
Mhm.
Another gem. I hope you picked it up. I did.
Mocha is, uh, well, let me go back just a little bit. My daughter, being an autistic individual,
Mm-hmm.
in the age of about 12, we started looking at what's called and having an autism service dog.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm sure everybody's sitting, but if they're not, you may want to sit when I come out with this price. To get a service dog back then, you had to raise $15,000. I am not misspeaking. The cost of what my husband needs, because he's also a diabetic, he needs a service dog. That's down the road. Can cost $20,000 to $25,000 um, for a service dog. And the reason why we can't go through some place that's going to say, we'll give you the dog for no cost, we have one here in Ohio, is because we have to get rid of Mocha. And we're not willing to do that. Um, so we had her get Jordan. Jordan was an autism service dog, trained. We raised the funds. I got her on the news at one point, and we were able to raise the $15,000 plus an extra $1,500 for someone else to get their service animal.
Oh.
And Jordan came into the picture. He was literally this mama's lifeline. I thank God for him every solitary day that he served her. Um, because oftentimes what I ask an autistic parent is, how is the sleep pattern? And they often say, oh, it's terrible, which means the parent isn't getting any sleep. I was getting in however I need to do it. And the they found out that most autistic children need a warm body to sleep with. Well, that became Jordan. And I'll never forget, about a year into Jordan's service, he took a while to kind of get used to sleeping with her. And then I was in her bed, and there was a crack kind of between the two of us. And there was a space behind the wall. He just lay there for a minute, and then he stood up, and then he came behind my back. And
Mm-hmm.
he's like, Mama, I got you. I got this. I know what I'm
Oh.
supposed to do.
Oh.
And so he could be able to help me, get to know whether she was having a meltdown. If she was getting overwhelmed, he'd put deep pressure on her, which you could just see her face going, relaxing. We could go into Walmart, we could go on trips, and it just opened up a whole new world. And I don't believe she'd be where she was without the benefit of Jordan. And so he passed. I knew the most joyous time was when he came into her life. And the hardest time was when he left. And he was diagnosed as a diabetic. Christina had then become a diabetic in 2013,
Mm-hmm.
shortly after getting Jordan. And he became a diabetic the last year of his life. And he came home from the hospital on her birthday. She had just turned 21.
Mhm.
And we had a lovely family dinner. And I just said to my husband, something's not right. There, we
Yeah.
got to take him back to the hospital. Just something's not right.
Yeah.
He was having pain. He was having arthritis, all a lot of different issues. Um, Fully, if you have a pet, look into pet insurance because
Mhm.
his first visit was $4,000, and pet insurance is what we have on every animal we've ever had. We
Mhm.
use Nationwide. Wouldn't recommend having a pet without it, quite frankly. And so we got him to the hospital. And I said, "You guys got to keep him alive until after her birthday. Can't this because he came from a shelter and he
Mhm.
was trained to be a service animal. Um, he didn't have a birthday, so Christina said, "I want to share my birthday with him."
Oh.
So because he came home on like the 13th and it happened to be a Friday, I said, "We can't choose that birthday." So I said to the people at the place, I said, "You got to keep them alive long enough to pass their birthday. Can't die on her birthday. You just can't."
Mhm.
And so she got there at 11:30. She spent about an hour with him, and then he had to be put down. There was just nothing more we could do for him. And she was holding her leash and his leash and so forth in um, and his collar in her hand. And I went purposely in the back seat of the car because I thought, okay, my daughter's just lost her precious service animal,
Yeah.
and I need to comfort her.
Mhm.
And she just looked at me. She goes, "Mama, don't touch me." And I remember just crying because I thought, I can't even comfort my own kid. She was 19 or she was 21 at the time. And I was like, I can't even
Mhm.
comfort her, which is not unusual for those with autism. And, but I knew if there was a dog there, she'd be all over it. So she was probably about a week later. She goes, "Mom, I don't care how you do this." Cause we were looking to get her next service animal, which was
Mhm.
again, $25,000 at that time. Um, to be able to do her diabetic and her autism. And she goes, "I don't care how you do, you got to get me a dog in the interim of this." So we started fostering dogs. We had
Okay.
Buddy. He lived with us for 9 months. And
Mhm.
then he was found to have, he had an episode and passed away. But we became his forever family. We had Nyla. Nyla went to an actual wonderful lady for 2.5 years. She even had her own Instagram, Nyla
Oh,
Doodles.
wow.
Then we had Hunter. Hunter was a Staffordshire Bull Terrier, and I said, "I'm never owning another Staffy ever again." And then we got Mocha. And once we got Mocha, who was actually held by the collar and choked by neighborhood kids before we got her, and then she was taken to another home and beaten every time she did something wrong. So this dog has been through the ringer.
Yeah.
Her trust level is just like she has separation anxiety. We're home all the time, and she
Mhm.
loves to lie underneath the blankets with me. And while I'm crocheting on the couch, she's like, I love that. She needs it. She wants to be a lap dog in the worst way. So my daughter can't have Mocha where she lives. So
Oh,
we are caring for Mocha, but she's become a superstar on this channel. Everybody loves Mocha.
yeah.
Um, and so we're grateful that we could have her, but it's one of the reasons why if we ever did get a dog for my husband, we want to make sure that it's a dog that can, um, that would be privately through private person that trains service animals because we really feel that if Mocha went to another home and they didn't take the time to really build the trust, we've taken 2 years
Mhm.
just to build the trust with the vet because her trust level in people is just terrible.
Mhm.
And that if they didn't take that time or they didn't quite understand her, she may be like a revolving door in a shelter situation.
Mhm.
And they would just say, okay, she's more of a stranger danger kind of thing. I'm going
Mhm.
to show you how tough I am. She is the most. She's like a. She's she. She's not, but it's like I'm going to show you. It's like we do with the world sometimes. I'm going to show you how tough I am, but inside
Mhm.
I'm really soft.
Yes.
because I've been hurt so much that I got to make sure you know I'm tough because everybody else has just been abusive to me. We took her to, I found a wonderful service. If you have a dog like Mocha who cannot do parks, dog parks, because they've not been put in a situation where they've been able to been socialized properly. She was not socialized properly, and we don't know. That's what we know of her backstory. There could be a whole lot of
Yeah.
stuff that
Right.
we don't even know about. And so we uh, we took her. We found a place called Sniff Spot. We did a video recently, and there's even a referral link in there for people that have no backyards or uh, have a dog that they can't take to a dog park, or they may not have a pool. Some of the places it's like Airbnb for dogs. I thought, why didn't I think of this? I'd have loved to
Yeah.
have been able to think of this. And
I think I
they
watched that one of those videos about that. And there was like a little shelter for the humans, for the dog moms and dog dads. Yeah, that was a great
and
and
so they have they
again.
have places all over. They have people with ponds and lakes. Now they'll tell you if they're leashed in or unleashed or fenced in or not.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a backyard, you can even become a host if you want to offer a space for somebody to have it. But it's a great service on that. It's Run Mocha Run, and the link for Sniff Spot is in there. We will be using it again, but just to show that this dog, even though in Cincinnati there was a man who said, "Listen, I don't have any dogs. My backyard is free for you to use anytime you want."
Mm-hmm.
She went there with kind of the hesitation of, "I don't know about this. I don't know what to do with this.
Mm-hmm.
What am I supposed to do with this?"
Mm-hmm.
And almost like she was coming back to us going, "Are you guys just going to leave me here?" I mean, it's just like we've had you for since
Still timid. Yeah.
2022.
Mm-hmm.
No, like 21, something around there. And I'm thinking, you're still afraid we're not going to be here? Go and have fun. She had no idea what to do with it. So it's just going to be taking her back and back,
Kind of
again
like
to
our
that.
kids these days. They don't know how to go outside and have fun. They
No,
don't know how to function without their phones at 2, at 3, at 12. Yeah.
exactly. So, but and I thought, what a great service. I'm like, for $20 a month, and I found
Oh.
another place locally that has it's $5 for to rent the place. Let
Mm-hmm.
her go wild. Boy, was she tired yesterday.
Hmm. Oh, that was just yesterday?
We took her Thursday, and she wore
Mm-hmm.
her little self out. She was exhausted,
Oh,
but she's a sweetheart. It just breaks my heart to think of the people that just abuse this dog. I'm just like,
yeah. Yeah. I don't know what provokes folks, but there's a lot of I don't know what provokes folks to hurt children or hurt animals. It
yeah.
just I don't get that, and I think I don't want to understand that. I don't want to understand that because that's just not right. Hey,
No.
we're welcoming in the more intuitive me. So many friends. So let's kind of just shift gears a little bit, and I'm going to ask you some lighter questions, and then we'll kind of be moving into the more content creation. We've already been doing content creation, because Mary, you've got it all together. You're on your second channel now. You're building the second channel, one fully monetized. But we had a lot of content in the chat. Discussion was when we were talking about coffee. I'm drinking water this morning. Mary's got her coffee. She drinks 2 cups a day with sugar in the raw and a little creamer, a little flavored creamer. And we have some tea drinkers. Do you like a tea as well as coffee, Mary?
Well, my grandmother came from Scotland. She was
Oh.
Scottish, and let's put this combination together. And she met my grandfather, who served in the United States military over in Scotland, and he was Greek. So Scottish and Greek,
Wow.
put them two together, and
Those
you
are
got
some
this
strong
girl.
cultural connections, Mary.
Oh yes. And so my grandmother came. They got married, and then she
Mhm.
had my mother, and my mother was born over in Scotland, And then at 4 months old, my grandmother and mother came over to this country, actually to the same place that we live now,
Mhm.
um, so many years ago. And then,
Mhm.
she grew up here where we live, and then, eventually went down to Florida where she met my dad. And she thought, oh, I'm going to stay in Florida the rest of my life. And Josh and I met back in 97.
Mhm.
Those that don't know what AOL was, where you dialed up, we met in a friend's first chat room back in 97. He was in Ohio, I was in Florida. We became friends. That's where I met my ex husband through him. And he sent me an email. We had stayed friends in 2025. And he said, "Oh, how you doing? I've lost contact." And then he said, "Josh," and he ended it with one of those little roses you can do from the stuff. And I said, "Something's up." We had so much in common. And I
Mhm.
called him up, and he's talking, and he goes, "I just want to find out how you're doing and everything." And I said, "Okay." Half an hour, and I said, "Josh, what's really going on?" And he said, "You know what? I've never stopped loving you." He
Oh.
said, "You're my first love." And he said, "If I came down there," he said, "will you, you know, uh, go out with me?" And I said, "You come down to Florida, we'll see where this goes." And he came down to Florida in 2005. Um, and in 2007,
Mhm.
we got married. What I didn't know is that he was about at the end of his rope. He didn't really think anybody cared. I had been through a marriage, he had been through a marriage,
Mhm.
and he was just done with life at that point.
Mhm.
So he said, "I'm going to come down and give this one last shot. And if this doesn't work, then I'm done with life." And he said, "It was my family. Um, it was our church." He said, "That brought me through a very difficult time." And he said, "I would not be here if it wasn't finding you again and uh, connecting with your family." And he didn't really have a father growing up. He had a
Mhm.
stepfather that was very abusive to him, and his father wasn't in the picture. And so my dad, he'll if you ask him who is his dad, he'll say my dad. My dad became that father for him.
Mhm.
And he was the only person that could get away with calling him Chucky. He
Mhm.
used to irritate my dad. My dad would say, "Hey, big guy, how you doing?" And they had a wonderful, wonderful relationship.
Uh-huh.
And we actually live in an apartment with my mother. So,
Mhm.
my mother would even say, "I don't know many son-in-laws that would allow their mother-in-law to live in the same place." And he said, "I promised."
No, I remember seeing a house
Yeah.
though. I remember seeing videos as
Well,
I was kind of binging your content.
yeah,
Um, see a house in the background in a neighborhood.
it's like they're like duplexes, but
Oh,
they're apartments.
okay.
Because of the fact that I'm disabled, so is my husband. You probably, if you saw the car show, I had my walker out yesterday.
I
Um,
missed the car show, so I've got to go back and watch that.
there's some cool cars. Actually, I saw a car and I made a short out of it because
Mhm.
it's a Smokey and the Bandit car. So it's the Trans Am.
Somebody talked
It
about that
was
in the chat. Keep talking. I'll find that.
it wasn't used in the movie, but
Mhm.
Burt Reynolds actually signed the glove box. So I was able to do a little short for that. But and the gentleman met him. I said, "How was he?" And he said, "Oh, he's nice." They didn't use it in the movie, but was able to do that. So we were able to go to a car show. But I had my walker. My husband had his walker because when I need to sit, my back, um, I've got to have a seat. So I have my walker when I'm doing stuff like that. But
Mhm.
we all have to be on one level. So we have our room. My mom has her room. We have, you know, three people in a
Okay.
household. You need two bathrooms.
Yeah.
And it's a great little community. We love it. Eventually
Good.
down the road, I'd like to have a house again.
Good. Mhm.
But my husband has said, "No, I'm here to take care of my girls." And that was
Oh,
myself and my daughter. And
yeah.
now of course she's married.
Mhm.
To I have a wonderful son-in-law, and but he said she'll stay with us until she leaves this world. And I tell my mom, "You can't leave this world till you're 150." And I thought for sure during the C plus math, kind of era,
Mhm.
um, my mother had it. She winded up in the hospital. I thought I was going to lose both parents at once.
Mm,
My dad went to like um, a respite care because I had it
mm,
so bad that I couldn't take care of him. My mother never asked me to, she said, I just need you to be there. But there were certain things I could not do. And I was very thankful I didn't have to do that for his care.
mhm,
And he went into, the respite care, and they called me like Tuesday, and they said, and this was like Tuesday before New Year's, and they said, your dad's not doing well. And said, he probably won't last the rest of the day. And I said, you don't know my dad.
mm,
I said, Lord, get my mom home here, and then he can go. And so he, my mom came home on the 31st of December, and it was January 1st. And I guess that's where I get some of my tenacity from, and my great grandmother and my grandmother. Um, and I played Elvis. You'll see Elvis in the background. I'm a huge Elvis fan. And I played Battle Hymn of the Republic. I
mm,
love that song that Elvis sang.
mhm,
I was probably about 12, 15 on the first, and I said, okay, Daddy, it's time for you to go home.
mm,
And about 20 minutes later, they called us and said he's gone.
mm,
We could not go see him. We could not be with him because then he was moved into a ward because they thought he had it too.
mhm.
And we all had it, and we're in Ohio, and they said you could come look through the window. And I'm like, okay, we're supposed to go look through the window in about 20-degree weather? I don't think so. So we
Yeah.
weren't there, but hopefully he felt us there. I know that they said
Mhm.
he wasn't awake or anything like that, but that was
Yeah,
hard to
of
not
course,
be able to be there. But
of course.
I'll see him one
So,
day again.
won't we? If we keep living right, we shall see them again.
Yeah.
Tell us this. What do you do when you're not running the two YouTube channels?
You
What
know,
do you
I
like to do? So what we heard outside visiting a car show.
yeah.
What else?
I will say this just real quick. I sat there thinking to myself, okay, it's kind of like having a baby. You get done with the baby and you think, I'm never going to do this again. And then when you get done, you go, oh, where's the next one coming? It's like, and I'm thinking, okay, well, we had that channel just kind of hanging around there. So we thought we'll just start this up. And I wasn't quite sure the direction of it
Mm-hmm.
because we were just using it for playlist on there.
Oh,
But I'm thinking, my mom said, you're going to do another one. I said, no, we're done after this. That's
okay.
it.
Two.
Um,
Y'all heard it here first. She said just two. We're gonna hold you to it. But you've got such a great, strong community on both of the channels. Even the second one, you're growing. Go ahead.
yeah. So I do crochet. We have these. We call these the crochet or the connection cakes. Sandy Wandy actually came up with that name. So if
Oh.
somebody has a birthday, we do this, and we have a merch store. That's where this came from too, as well.
Uh
Fourth
huh.
Wall is great. You do not have to be monetized to have your merch store. Just so you know, you can tie it on in. And we also do like soap caddies. So I do a lot of these. And
Oh.
we put these on the merch store too as well. Do them in different
Mm-hmm.
colors, but put the bar of soap in, and then you go rub a dub dub, and you throw them in the washer when they're done with the soap, and then
Oh.
you start all over again. You just hang them up. We've never had an issue, and so I'll sit there and make these. I do a lot of crochet. I get lost in Canva. I really enjoy doing Canva. I've had to
Mm-hmm.
set a lot of stuff up so that my mom, who's not too familiar with Canva, can get in there and help me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I love getting
So
into
what are you using
series.
Canva for your editing or for thumbnails?
Oh, I'm using it for thumbnails. I'm using it for shorts. I'm using it. I think that I think when it comes to Canva, you can learn a lot, but you can also just kind of, you know,
Get lost.
mess around in there.
Mm-hmm.
Our intro for our outro for most of our shorts was designed through Canva. I
Mm-hmm.
got some of the stuff off of Pixel Bay video wise. The shout outs are all done through Canva.
Okay.
The weekly recap is done through Canva. I mean, there's a lot more that you can do. You can do video through Canva.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more that I think that we can do than we realize. So I can get lost in that because that uses my creative side. I enjoy
Kind of like I'm
diamond
getting
painting.
lost in learning Chat GPT version 5. Yeah.
I've done some baby ones recently. those baby AIs, oh, they are so
Mhm,
much fun. What I've
mhm.
been able to do is use content in the past and put them into the baby AI, and
Mhm.
then I can tag that video in the short and say, "Go check out this one." And people have
Okay.
been loving them. I did one for my daughter. It was so cute. Um, and it was just fooling around to learn how to do it.
Yeah,
Uh, I love diamond
tinkering. They
painting.
call that tinkering in
Yeah.
Fortune 500 companies. They just call it tinkering, fooling around with
Um,
new applications, and that's the best way to learn, by doing.
yes. I do diamond painting. I've got to get back to that because I do enjoy that. Um,
I gotta find my.
because
I bought a couple of kits, and one time, me and my friends, we I bought everyone a kit, and we planned it because we all live around the country now, and we planned it as a night for us to fix ourselves some wine and do our diamond painting.
as a fibromyalgia patient, it's hard because, and this is one of my struggles. I'm going to do a test to some degree, is to see if I kind of pre-plan out my stuff
Hmm.
more. Is it going to help a little bit more with the algorithm? But it is hard because you don't know, am I going to have a good day or I'm not having a good day? Where's it's hard to plan that. And there's been times I've had things and I've had to, um, you know, kind of back off on them because I couldn't do them. So, I love YouTube. I love going live. I love interacting with the community. I go to we have a wonderful church we go to. Um, and, I love craft stores. My husband and I love going the back roads, especially in Ohio. I love going down to the Amish country. Sometimes we'll get in the
I do
car and just go
too.
down to the Amish country down in
Yeah.
Berlin, Ohio. Um, I just, you know, I do what I can. And I have to make sure that I'm self caring for myself,
Hmm.
which is something that is important. And, when my aunt died in March of this year, it's taken a while. And I had some health issues because of that. And my husband's great aunt passed away. And then his grandmother, who's 96 years old, she was having some issues. And his father winded up in the hospital. And there was just a lot of different things going on. And it was just trying to get back into the track of things
Yeah.
has been really difficult. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Where I was
Yeah.
before, but it's been hard. But I'll
Hmm.
get there. When I can, I enjoy cooking. Um, I enjoy, my family. I enjoy my mom. I enjoy just trying to help others. One of the things that we're trying to do, we have a lady on our channel, and if there is any crocheters out there, she said she will certainly take all the help she can get, and she doesn't mind me talking about it. But you can email me if you are a crocheter, but she has cancer. And we are actually in the process of trying to put together a blessing box. We would like to start doing these as well.
Hmm.
And that
I do
just
blessing
means that,
boxes in November.
and blessing box just means that we're going to put yarn in there. If somebody is struggling with a chronic illness and they're going, what, crochet really helps, but yarn can be expensive. I mean, to do a blanket can
My
cost
mom's a crafter.
$60.
I know. Yeah.
And so, we want to put blessing boxes together. So she is trying to do 4,000 hats by the time the end of the year is happening. And
Well.
she said, I'd rather sit there crocheting, doing the crochets, hats for veterans
Mm,
and helping them.
wow.
And she said, it gets my mind off the fact that I'm hurting or I'm dealing with cancer. So we have some extra yarn that I'm not going to use. So I'm planning to put her, put her into the position of getting her the first blessing box. We'd like to be able to do that, and then
Yeah.
that people could use the yarn, and hopefully they'll use it to be able to, maybe do some hats for, veterans, or there's a lot of different places, cancer patients, and even they can do blankets for shelters, animal shelters,
Yeah.
and so forth. So we're going to be sending out our first blessing box to her. If anybody wants to help with that, or if anybody wants to contribute some hats, reach out. It's on our link tree. Reach out on our email. She'll be
Okay.
glad to certainly have them. We'd like to also be in the position where if we're out in the store with somebody, we've all been in the position where we've had to put food back. And my mother and I said, we'd love to have a little bit of extra money in the pocketbook, and then that way, if we see that happening, we could give somebody a little blessing card and maybe have $20 and say, here's $20 towards your groceries, just to bless someone else. We have a cookie connection we do every year.
Tell us
And
about that.
we do that. And we do that in honor of my dad. He loved cookies. He never turned down a cookie. And that's also one of the reasons I'm a huge Elvis fan, is because when somebody has dementia, it was the one thing that I could put on, and he'd
Mhm.
dance in his little wheelchair at times, and I could have him back for a moment. I had him.
Yeah.
He knew Elvis songs, and I could have him back for a second, because we used to love watching Elvis movies together. And so that's why I have such a strong connection to Elvis and his music.
Speaking of
But
it, today is
his
really significant to
yes,
Elvis fans. You want to tell us a little bit about
his
that,
the
Mary?
48th passing of his anniversary, or his 48th, yeah, 48th year of the anniversary of his passing, I believe,
So, like it's
if I can do my
Elvis's
math
heavenly
correctly.
birthday is today, and wow! So it is. If you're in and around Tennessee, in West Tennessee, in the Memphis area, it is Elvis Week, and they folks come not just from around the country but around the world to pay their condolences. People, it's almost like a pilgrimage, almost. It's just like this is the um, one of the centerpieces for the civil rights movement and the passing, the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther
Yeah,
King Jr. But Graceland is the Graceland and all their properties. Their
yeah,
adjoining properties are located, fixated here in the Memphis area,
yeah.
and folks come from around the world, around the globe, camping out even. And we're talking 100-degree heat, folks.
I've been there 3 times during Elvis Week and one non-time. And Coach Snapback, he died August 16th, 1977, not 79.
Oh,
His
oh,
dad died in 79. He died in 77. And anybody going to Graceland,
mhm.
just so they know, take a trip an hour away to his birthplace. It is a small little house. It did not have a swing porch on it.
Is that
And
in
that's in
Mississippi?
Tupelo, Mississippi.
Tupelo, Mississippi.
It's a 2-bedroom little shack.
Is that
But
right?
that's where he started. He knew, he never forgot where he started. He was very, very generous man. There's a wonderful story about Elvis that I tell, because I think that it says a lot about what we need to do as people, and
Mhm,
about our caring about others, and so forth. He had found out through one of his bodyguards there was a woman there in Memphis that had no legs, and they had made her like a makeshift little board. She was using roller skates to get around. She had raised children and
mhm.
grandchildren, and for those that think that Elvis was racist, he was not. This was an African American individual, and he said, "Get me the best wheelchair money can buy." And so he
Mhm.
put it in the back of his vehicle, and he went off to her house himself with his bodyguards and so forth, and brought this wheelchair to her home, and knocked on the door, and the lady's husband answered and said, "We have something for her." She came around the corner and she saw this beautiful wheelchair, and she said, "Is that for me?" And he goes, "Yes." And Elvis says, "You know what? I don't know much about it, but I know it's going to go really fast, and it's going to take you any place you want to go." And they said they were all in tears. He gave the husband some money, and he said, "We got to get out of here." He said, "I'm going to start crying." And so he left, and one of the bodyguards said to him, "Elvis, I don't think she knew who you were." And he said, "It doesn't matter who I am. It
Oh,
just
wow.
matters that someone
Yeah.
knows that someone cares about them." There
Right.
wasn't publicity, there wasn't cameras, there wasn't anything. I
Mhm.
didn't hear about this story till almost, 45 years in, to realize that he had done something like this. He didn't do it in the newspaper. There was no
Right,
fanfare. He didn't
right.
go knock back on the door and say, "By the way, Elvis gave you that wheelchair." No. He said, "I just want them to know that someone cares." And I think that's a lot of what YouTube tends to do. It's just someone cares.
Mhm.
I've been on the seat, on the sofa, wishing I had somebody just to listen when I was struggling with my daughter. I remember going and meeting up with a friend, and we were laughing over a selfie stick that we were trying to figure out how to work. And I remember getting in the car and crying, and I think I should be happy, and I wasn't, because I remember thinking, I don't know the last time I sat on the couch and laughed with a friend.
Mhm.
And so I've said
Yeah.
to my community, listen, if you got to put the phone down and just have a comforting voice, that's fine, because then you don't
And
feel like you're
that's what I get from
alone.
your channel. A lot of that. I get a lot of um, trying to improve someone's day is
Yes.
kind of what the spirit that comes through very loudly, speaks very loudly on certainly Blessed True Crochet, but really both the channels. You kind of get, it's kind of just slowing things down a bit and taking time to get to know people. So that idea of personal connections is very, it speaks
Yep.
very loudly through your channel, and you can just feel that, you get that sense. I got that sense because I started in preparation for the interview. I was already subscribed to both channels, but just trying to lean in and understand more about you and your life. But yeah, that there's just a great spirit that is a thread of connection and genuine connection and just being kind. And I love anything that points and reminds folks about being kind to each other and to one another.
Nobody needs to suffer in silence. And I've done it.
Yeah.
And I don't want anybody else to do it. I
Mm-hmm.
want to be a blessing out there to other people. We do the cookie connection thing every year. That is done as a way, we're probably going to modify that a little bit. But last year, people would send us cookie recipes and we would make shorts out of them. We'd ask them what their favorite song was. We put the favorite song with it, put the
Mm-hmm.
story behind the cookie
Mm-hmm.
recipe that they had. And then we would roll that out and put in their channel link into that. And if they wanted to do a video, they could do a video. If you are looking to grow your channel too as well, Gail with Southern Living, she does what is called Fall Fest. She is doing it again this year. We participated last year on our channel, and we will do both channels. And it's a great way. She has, I forgot how many channels she had last year. I think it was like 20 or 25, maybe even more than that. And what happens is that everybody comes together and they, like donate something. There's a grand prize winner, and then there's like a semi prize winner if you want to do that. The grand prize winner wins all of the prizes from all the channels coming
Oh,
together.
wow.
So it may be something for you to look into as far as reaching out. I'd say one of the biggest things is if you're going to grow a community, don't stick with your own. In the sense that, I mean, if we stuck in crochet communities, we'd be like, no,
Very,
we're in fishing channels and car channels and homestead channels and just all over. It's like if they got a great community, we're in there. Um, there's no set kind of thing that we're having to be in. And then I'm sure you probably heard of Samaritan's Purse.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so what we do too, because my grandmother loved the kids.
And I think
And
is there
so,
a piece that Samaritan's shoes? I think my church did something with shoes. We did, was it shoe boxes or was it
yeah,
pieces of shoes? I think we've
no,
done
they
both.
have the shoe boxes. I
Mhm.
went to school with, I'm going to say her name wrong. Um, oh, it's not Teresa. It's, I forgot what her name is now. Jerusha. Jerusha, I went to school with. That was Billy Graham's granddaughter.
Oh
And
wow.
his daughter, or his son, and his daughter and son-in-law came to our church. I'll never forget. They were in church, and of course, we were there with Christina. She was a little baby, and he went over to Billy Graham's son-in-law and said, "Come on, you got to see my granddaughter." I never met Billy Graham. I did walk by him one time, but I never met him. And my grandma said, "That's Billy Graham. You want to go say hi?" And I didn't want to disturb him. I really wish that I had, but so we do the Samaritan's Purse. We actually filled 2 shoe boxes last year, and
Mhm.
we're looking for doing at least 3, and we will continue doing that every year in memory of my grandmother. And people can we do streams. The super chats go to filling those shoe boxes, and then we have an Amazon shoebox affiliate link. If they want to send anything, they can go on there and donate that way too as well. But we
Okay.
want to give back. I think if you're fortunate enough to be to have the monetization, you got to do a little giving back.
Yes.
And we also do the devotions. At one point, we'd like to be in a position where if anybody is needing a Bible, they can certainly let us know. Listen, you know what? I need a Bible. Maybe they're in a tough position. They don't go to church yet, but or they're just don't want to go and ask their church for one, even though they'll give it to you. Maybe that's just something they don't feel comfortable doing. We can certainly say to them, listen, reach out to us. We'll send you one through Amazon. So those are all things certainly in the future that we would like to be able to do, because this is work.
Yeah.
If people don't think this is work, it's work.
Yeah, I'm a part-time creator, but it sure feels like a second full-time job. It is not for the faint of heart, but it's so super rewarding. It really is
Yes,
super
it is.
rewarding. And I'm glad I'm taking the journey, and I'm glad I decided at 48, and I'm now 49. Steadily, this is how you know I'm 49, because I can't even keep the AirPods in my ears. Um, I said, yeah. How do the young folks keep them in their ears, and they work and they
I
do all
have
these things? And I'm literally sitting here, barely moving, and myself, both of them have fallen out, as you can see. I don't know how to
I
do it.
have them around the ear so that they don't come
The
in.
the
But
next ones I buy, I don't know if Apple makes them, but I'm going to find something that is over the ear for me. Ooh, I peeped a
yes,
nice
yes. One
nice
of our ladies in our
something there.
church, I've been nicknamed the blanket lady.
Okay.
And I have done several of the church, several within our church, and I've done blankets. I love these specific blankets. I also cross stitch. I love cross stitch as well.
Mhm.
But this is kind of like cross stitch on a big scale. And so I love doing these blankets. They're kind of a bobble stitch blanket because I can make them so personable. And I'm hoping to learn how to do our own patterns too as well, so that we can offer those. But this is what I'm doing. She is we're out. We don't have a pastor right now, so we have a visiting pastor,
Mm.
and his wife has multiple sclerosis. My grandfather had multiple sclerosis, so it's very close to my heart.
Yeah.
And I know as a fibromyalgia patient, there's times you can get really cold, and so can she. So we're doing this blanket for her as a way of just saying, every time you have this and you're struggling, you know that you got a church family that loves you. And her favorite color is red, so this is one that I'm doing. And I'll take this outside and let people just talk and while I crochet. It's hard to show blankets. So there's the
Oh wow, does
hearts.
it have words on it?
Yes, it does. So there's hearts. These are my favorite blankets to do.
Oh my
And then
goodness.
it's going to say God is good all the time. So you can see
Whoa.
the word time on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So there it starts with time. And it's going to say all the way up. And
Wow.
then that's and that's
That's
all. And
absolutely
then
gorgeous.
yeah. So these are my favorite blankets too. I have done, I don't know, probably about 12. And then this is the other
Wow.
side of it.
You're super talented. Oh my goodness.
So
That is gorgeous.
yes, I've done a lighthouse blanket that's on our channel. I did a paw blanket. That one's Mocha's sitting on that one. My husband and I celebrated our honeymoon in St. Augustine, Florida. So I was
Mhm.
able to actually take one of the patterns I found and do it and reconstruct it to make it very similar to the lighthouse that is in St. Augustine. And I made that for his birthday. So that's on the channel. I have that on there. So I do a little bit. I just never felt comfortable showing people how to crochet because I probably have learned some pretty bad habits. I'm self taught.
Mhm.
But
There are a
I
lot of
certainly,
crochet channels, though. A lot of folks,
yeah,
and then I know one channel that I watch, and it's almost a faceless channel. The young lady, and she's a young lady, and she sells everything that she makes, and like before she can even finish it, it's already sold. Um,
crafty.
I don't know what her name is.
Well, the one I'm thinking that you're probably thinking is Crafty Witch.
Okay.
And if that's her, then she is a dear friend of mine, and her husband is
Okay.
like a brother to me. Like I said,
Mhm.
I don't have any. My mother's certainly not going to have any at this stage in her life, but I've certainly gotten sisters and brothers through this because I felt before I was on YouTube, kind of like nobody wanted to be my friend. I
Oh,
tend to be I'm very, very talkative, as you can tell. And I just can be
it
intense a
works for
little bit.
YouTube though, Mary. It's perfect
It
for YouTube.
does. I can be intense. I'm a go getter, partly
Clearly.
because of my dad. My dad never met a stranger. He could go into Publix. Oh boy, do I miss Publix. They've got to get up here. But, you know, you go to Publix and he knew everybody from the deli to this. He never met a stranger. And my mother used to have to sit there and say, you know what, Chuck, you're going on a plane. And what she didn't do too often, just remember that the person beside you does not want you to listen to you talking the entire time you're on the plane. He never met a stranger. I tend to do the same thing.
Mhm.
And it's the hospitality little part of me, one of my gifts that God has given me. I did
Yes.
spend some years in hotel and absolutely loved it. I worked about every part of a hotel and hospitality industry of it, and I just absolutely loved it. Um, but it's my personality, and so sometimes it can be difficult if someone's a little bit more shy
Mhm.
because they don't know kind of how to deal with somebody that just kind of goes, just I'm out there. I get to be my goofy self here.
Right.
And I just love it. But there was a stage in my life where I thought nobody wants to be my friend. And that tape certainly has dissipated since
That's so
coming on YouTube.
true. You've got two channels, and the number of comments that are coming through your front door on in these YouTube streets is amazing. This
Yeah.
is a great experience. So clearly you are loved. Clearly your spirit is so warm and inviting, and I'm
I
enjoying
try.
I'm enjoying it. Friends, if you're in the chat or you're watching, please don't forget to drop in the chat and let's ask Mary some questions. If you all have any questions for Mary or even for myself, this is Blessed to Crochet and Blessing Through Connections. And Mary is our guest today, and she is the owner of these two great channels. And this has been a great, this is it to me. It does feel like coffee and a conversation.
Yeah, it
And
does.
that's the atmosphere I want to create. And you've got great things happening on your channel, as do I. And this is a great experience. And so, y'all, if you do have questions, drop those in the chat right now. And we're going to just keep talking and going through and seeing what we can do. Now, you mentioned the microphone, that it can change colors.
Yeah.
And so, is there a link to that? And is that Amazon? Or how did you get
That
the?
was through eBay.
Oh, okay.
I can, I can certainly put that in this description, but it's an MO. I have to read it. I can't see what it is. MAONO, I think, microphone. But
Okay.
it's on eBay. It's a gaming microphone. Um, and I just knew that the one on the computer I had was not. We started with a computer. If you go to our first live,
Mm-hmm.
which I look and go, boy, we've come a long way. Um, we had a computer. It lasted for about a year, but it cannot keep up with what we were doing here. And my son-in-law does wonderfully. A very intelligent young man,
Mm-hmm.
and he will build a computer for us one day, but that was not in the price point. And so we just went on eBay and got a repurposed computer I just used to go streaming. My daughter had an old TV monitor. We used that. And, we're just making that work for right now. At least I can do a lot more than I could on the old computer, which is right next to me. Like I said, I'm in my bedroom, corner
Mhm.
of my space. This here is because we live in an apartment, even though the color is very similar to what's here. I just took my time and, you know, uh, put that together and put that on a wall with some things. You don't need fancy stuff,
Nope, nope.
you know.
From
This
content creation perspective, how do you record content? What are you recording on?
Well, I record and I cannot wait to go back to StreamYard. Um, but currently we're under Stream Labs. Unfortunately, when we when we had to in April, and mind you, I was in the middle of grieving my aunt. And so I'm
Yeah.
still learning that. And I was going through some health issues. There was just it actually winded me in the hospital for
Mhm.
overnight. It got that bad, and so there was a lot of stuff that happened, and I have not really totally dived into Streamlabs. I would never ever recommend Streamlabs, OBS, or any of that for anybody starting, because you've got to get on and you've got to somewhat be there. And if you're trying to figure out how to work all this kind of stuff and build scenes, no, you just need to know how to get on and feel comfortable and
Right.
talk and deal with the chat. Don't worry about it. Just use their free service. But when they were going to renew us back in April,
Hmm.
they said, great, $423. I go, what?
I keep hearing that. Yeah.
I was like, no, I don't have that. We're all
Hmm.
on a fixed income. They said, this
Right.
channel is owned by my mom. I just handle all of the front work of it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll take the connection. You take any of the revenue. We just couldn't do that. So
Hmm.
I started looking for, I went through Emux. I don't like Restream. I went through Riverside. I went through, and so I decided I'll just use Streamlabs. And I
Hmm.
did Streamlabs Ultra, but you have got to know what OBS is. You've got to know how to build build scenes and
Hmm.
all that kind of stuff. I've been told you can put chat on the screen. I just haven't figured it out yet, but I am determined to figure it out.
Hmm.
And what kind of frustrated me a little bit was that when I went in and people said, well, just cancel your StreamYard and see if they'll give you for something else. Well, they were going to give me a wonderful price of $431. So I'm somebody who's been with them for a year. You're going to
Hmm.
give me a $9 discount. I
Yeah.
was not happy with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then in July, they came and said, we have a summer special, half off. Now you're
Hmm.
going to offer it to me at $250.
Hmm.
And people don't realize that when you are streaming, there's a cost to it. It's not just free. The camera costs 30, this microphone costs 30 in order to at least not, have the computer act up on a stream. We had to spend $100 on a rebuilt computer through eBay. You've got your streaming service. It's not just free to do when you're
Hmm.
growing a channel.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of stuck with using Streamlabs for the foreseeable future, but
Hmm.
I hope that next year, uh, they'll go back to somewhat. What they did was they sold their company to another company,
Is that
and
what it was?
that company has been known to.
Jack up the prices. Yeah.
uh,
I'm not using the $400 version of StreamYard because that's not in my budget. I wasn't even partially monetized at the time that I started using the StreamYard. And I started using StreamYard because I was invited to interview on Queen Alchemy's channel. She does interviews as well. And so she used a StreamYard, and the reason why a lot of folks want to use StreamYard is because it allows both channels. We're all small and newish, and it allows both channels to gain watch hours on their own channel. So it's great for that, but I didn't I've never used the full strength version because y'all, I'm literally still learning how to use this version of StreamYard. So that's what we're using, and it's not the free version, but it's one above that. And so I'm trying it out. It's working, and I'm going to keep using it. But I don't know that I will be able to do the full Mountie. But I'm at this moment I don't need to because I'm
Well,
still learning this one.
you must have been grandfathered in because the 423 was the least of their packages. When we
Mm,
first signed up in April last year, it was $250.
mm.
The next time, the same thing I was using was going to
Which is
be
not a small amount either. The 200
no,
is not small either. Yeah.
no, it was 423.
Wow.
And so we can still do, collaborations on Streamlabs. It's just more cumbersome.
Yeah.
Um, but at the time, again, I look back and think I should have just done monthly, but I was in such a hard place after my aunt's passing that I was
Mm-hmm.
just like, I'll do anything right now for a little bit. Um, and I want to go back to StreamYard because it's just easier. It's not as cumbersome. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad I learned Streamlabs. Or
Mm-hmm.
OBS is the free version of Streamlabs is
I've been
OBS.
tinkering with
Yeah,
OBS, but I don't have time to tinker.
yeah.
I'm
I
trying to
would
grow the channel, and I
I would
work full
never
time.
recommend. I never
Yeah.
would recommend it for anybody starting out. You've got to start out with something like StreamYard, even if it's the free version, because
Mm-hmm.
you're just trying to figure out how do I do the chat and
Yeah.
focus on that. And my mother was sitting in here recently. We did a birthday stream with her, and she was just watching me. She got done. She goes, "I cannot believe all that you did." I'm fooling around doing scenes, and she goes, "She's just amazing to watch you."
Mm.
And your growth that you've had over the time. And so just hit that button. Everybody has a story. Every
Yeah.
solitary person has a story. We're doing later this evening, we're doing a Blessing Through Connection live stream. And then
Okay.
we're doing another stream at 7:30 tonight. It's called The Quilters. It may surprise you. It's not
Okay.
it's something I actually found on Netflix that I want to bring to people's attention. It's kind of why I did the sniff spot, because I know that
Okay.
there's dogs out there that may be in Mocha's situation that need to have a backyard, that don't have a backyard. So this is another thing that I thought, here's some people, they kind of put themselves in the situation, but they're finding good in the difficult. And it's a Netflix series called The Quilters, if you want to go watch it before we do our live tonight. And then the same place we went and saw the car show, if we can, we're going to try to head out because they're supposed to have fireworks about 10 o'clock tonight.
Ooh,
So
that
we
sounds
may be
great.
heading out for that.
I
We'll
love
see.
fireworks. Yeah.
So and we do have devotions on the chat on the channel. I have just gotten really behind after my aunt's passing, and I'm trying to play catch up. But I've got ones I've got to edit. Not my favorite thing to do, but part of putting things together. Um, but whether even if it's not the day of the day, there's still over 6 months worth of devotions that you can go feed into and get fed from, even if it's not the day. And we're going to continue doing that. I just got really behind
Yeah.
with all
We're
that.
human. We're human. And so Grace Mary, give yourself some grace because God
I'd
gave
have
us
been
grace. So give
well, I'd
yourself
have
some
been
grace.
better too if I hadn't had the health issue. I did not realize that sometimes, when you've had a passing, sometimes your hormones just go, and that's
Oh yeah.
exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And they were actually thinking they were going to have to give me a blood transfusion at one point. And
Oh
so,
good.
yeah, I looked at my husband one morning, actually Easter morning, and I said to him, and he just looked at me. He goes, "You got two choices: you're going by ambulance, or you're going by me taking
Oh
you."
wow.
But he was standing right there, and I just turned around. And I almost passed out right in his arms. He goes, "We're done. You've got to go." And
Mhm.
that just knocked me for a loop for quite a little bit of time going through that,
Mhm.
and medication trying to get me all regulated and everything. And so and then of course the fibromyalgia doesn't help either.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've had a lot of grace, and I've had times where I've come on YouTube and I've cried because I don't specifically like the season.
Mhm.
Um, I miss my aunt.
Yeah.
She was, uh,
You can tell
somebody
she
that's
was
been.
very special to you.
She wa-
Yes.
she. There was a lot of times she frustrated me, but there's a lot of wonderful memories I have of her. She had quite a survival story. My grandmother was, and I talk about this on the channel. I figure all of my past history is worth talking about,
Mhm.
because somebody may have be going through the same exact situation. My grandmother was undiagnosed bipolar, and so my dad and his siblings did not have the best mother. My grandmother was married and divorced 4 times, and so it was a difficult thing. And my aunt really was the last child of my grandmother, and my grandmother was just she wasn't present a lot of the times, and my aunt suffered for that. But the last 13 years of her life, she was clean and sober, and now she's perfect, no cancer, no anything, and I
Yeah.
will see her again one day. But you still have to
You
go
will.
through the process.
You will. So we learned that you've got a live stream coming up tonight on both channels. We should be looking for you live on both
Yeah.
channels this evening. So do you go, Mary, do you go live every day?
I'm going to try to get better at that. But
Okay.
again, and I would encourage people too, as a chronic pain patient. There's times I come on. Now I did put a little hairspray in the hair today, but there's a lot of times I don't. I don't put makeup on. I don't put blush
Mhm.
on. I don't fix my hair, because sometimes even touching your skin
Yeah.
and fooling around with your scalp can be painful. And so I
Mhm.
want those people that may be dealing with fibromyalgia to say, you know what, I've got a story to tell. I'm going to come on. And
Yeah.
so I try to, and I need to get better at getting back to a more regular schedule. But I think that that's going to be a little difficult, because I just never know. Am I going to wake up and it's going to day and like I cannot handle? It's not happening today.
Yeah.
One thing that I can say about Blessings Through Connection is not having to go live. I can be sometimes have to be in really soft, loose clothing, because clothing can actually hurt your skin.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so I can go on that channel and get my connection in on a more steady basis and not necessarily have to be on the camera. Um, and I would also, not that I would suggest anybody has 2 channels, but even if you have a second channel,
Mhm.
just think about, we all have channels and people that we love and we want to support. When you have your playlist on your channel, if you start putting this playlist, it's hard for people to go in there and help, just go in and watch your content. So on Blessed to Crochet, unless we're collaborating, like when the Fall Fest comes out or when we do our cookie collection, our collaboration, we put those on there. But if you go to our playlist, 99% of it right now, I think pretty much all of it is all Blessed to Crochet material. So if
Okay.
you wanted to, you could do another channel, even if it was just to send people over and say, you know what, I have some great channels I want to support, like we started
Mhm.
with Blessings Through Connection. Go
Yeah.
check it out. And you could do playlist for everybody that you wanted to on there. And then that way it's not interfering with your playlist and your content on
Mhm.
your channel.
Mhm.
And then we were able to kind of turn that channel after a while, thinking how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Another thing we're going to be doing on Blessings Through Connection is we're going to be doing getting to know you interviews. We want to know, and there was a study that came out. I actually did a stream about it, but
Mhm.
why people watch YouTube. It's all about the connection. It's all about the
Mm,
community.
I
And
think you're
I'm going to
right.
be changing how I do those interviews a little bit. I haven't started. I'm doing one with my daughter because she has 2 channels. And
Mhm.
so we're going to be doing it in a way of getting to know you. And if you do a getting to know you interview on Blessings Through Connection, we are going to go ahead and give you a playlist. You can choose 5 hours worth of material, 5, 6 hours worth of material. And
Mm-hmm.
then what we will do is we will um, go ahead and make you a playlist that gives
Mm-hmm.
the opportunity for us to get, just some material for Blessings Through Connection and some videos. And those will be the only videos that are going to be on there pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And then it also gives you about 5 or 6 hours of content you want in there for people to get to know you. So if you
Yeah.
do a getting to know you interview with us, we're going to put a playlist together on there. We would
Okay.
not do it on Bus to Crochet. We want a majority, if not all of the playlist to be our content.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because we've gone into channels, and I have, where I've gone into channels going, okay, I want to find out about that one, but I'm looking at their playlist going, wait a minute, is it them or is it someone else? It's great to
Mm.
find that other channel, but I'm coming to that. It can make it difficult a little bit. So,
Yeah.
having two channels, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Even if that other channel never gets monetized, but you can just put playlist and do that. And we are trying to do, if you have an upcoming live, an upcoming premiere on Blessings Through Connection, if we see it, we're trying to go in and schedule it 10 minutes before your live starts. We want to literally blow up that community tab,
That's
just
nice. Yeah.
like a Christmas tree, more like.
Yeah.
Just light it up. And
Mm-hmm.
then this way we go in and we give the person a thumbs up. We let them know we shared it at 10 minutes before the live starts if we see it. And we want to do that for lives and premieres. And then we're doing something on both channels. It drops at 12 o'clock a.m. every day. It's called the Daily Connection Hub for Blessings Through Connection, and Mocha's Daily Connection Hub over on Blessed to Crochet. And
Okay.
it's just make a comment, make that connection.
Okay.
People are going in there now, they say, hi, how you doing? Even if it's just have a blessed day. And
Yeah.
then what is happening is actually people are going over to that channel and they're just watching a short. Even if you've already connected with them,
Mm-hmm.
they're watching a short and making a comment. And we
Mm-hmm.
actually put the day in the little posts we do, because YouTube will say, this was 2 weeks ago, this is 3 weeks ago. And we're hoping to really fill those posts on both channels.
Got it.
People can leave you're leaving your fingerprint, it's leaving your business
Yes.
card.
Mm-hmm.
And they can go in, and even people I'm connected to, I'll go in and watch a short. And I'll just say, hey, great short. It's just an
Mm-hmm.
extra little support. Or if they're doing a live and premiere, they can let people know within those connection hubs for the day, hey, I'm going to be live at so and so a time. So
Mm-hmm.
those are coming out at 12 o'clock every day.
Okay.
And uh, we have a Facebook group for the Blessed to Crochet, which is the Lighthouse Beacons. And we have Blessings Through Connection Facebook group. People can put their YouTube stuff in the Blessings Through Connection one. And we're just trying to bring people together. Because
I
I
see you.
think,
You really kind of really built your channels out, and I can see. Thank you for going. You have managed to put it all together and have one channel fully monetized and growing the other one day by day. That's amazing.
I
Congratulations
try.
on your growth. It's amazing. Wow. Channel goals is
Well,
all
I
I can
I
say.
I get help. My mom helps. She helps a lot
Okay.
in the back office, and we take our Bible verses and I use them out of our daily devotions, and I'm behind with that.
Okay. Hmm.
But the sciatic nerve has not been my friend lately.
Mm.
And my mom's computer went down, so we got to get the son-in-law to look at that for us. But uh, it'll get caught up, and we will get them caught up. But we try to do the Bible verses every day, and some of it is, I think sometimes we don't realize that this, I, I never thought, I thought this is easy. It's
Hmm.
not. It's not for the faint of heart at all. One thing that I would highly recommend anybody that is going to do a series as we've done with the devotional is
Mhm.
get ahead of yourself
Yes.
because stuff's going to happen. I will say God is good because at the time, if you go back through the devotions, God was preparing me for my aunt's passing because in the devotions it was heaven is joyous, heaven is this, heaven is that. And the day I had to do the live after, or the little devotion after Patty passed, it was heaven is glorious.
Mm.
And I thought God knew exactly what I needed to hear. Um, but you know, I think you if you're going to start a channel, we started on January 13th. You better put your shoes on and run because if you can get monetized in the first year, you're not going to backtrack.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're playing this game.
Mhm.
And we actually got partially monetized in August when my aunt was here.
Mhm.
And then we were fully monetized in, I think, October. So you don't stop. And then it's just not like, well, don't stop because then you have to continue the momentum after you're monetized, or they're going to say, sorry, you didn't reach the 4,000 hours again. You can't be
Then you start
monetized.
losing those hours. Yeah.
And in December is the only time we come live every solitary day because that is the time we do it from December 1st through till January 2nd, because that
Okay.
is the time where people really struggle, where they're alone.
Mm.
Holidays have happened, winter is starting to
You're
set in,
right. Yeah.
and we want to just turn on the lighthouse. We've even told our people in our Facebook group, if you need the lighthouse on and we can do it, then guess what? Let us know and we'll turn it on.
Oh wow.
Even if I'm not on camera, even if all you all need to do is just talk to each other
Yeah.
because we're all going through it.
Yeah. It's called life. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Life happens, but I'm telling you, I am so grateful. I will, I look at YouTube in such a different way
Mhm.
because I know that it was my community that came together. They've supported me. They've allowed me to have that one last hug with my aunt. They've been
Mhm.
there for me. I have
Mhm.
friends. I have support. No, I'm never going back. I keep going forward,
I hear you, Mary. I hear
no
you.
matter what. But
Yeah.
I've watched your interviews, and I think you do interviews wonderfully. I was
Thank
very
you.
impressed.
That means a
I
lot
wa-
to me coming from you, Mary. Thank you.
I walked some of her stuff, guys. She is amazing at doing interviews, as well as I know you do the shop talk too, as well, um,
Mhm.
which I think is great because if you're not on this side of the camera, you don't understand all the struggles.
Yeah, Shop Talk is where we just talk shop. It's a live Q&A. I
Yep.
intentionally do the Shop Talk episodes live because I want content creators for YouTube to gather, to ask questions, to get the answers to their questions in real time. Not necessarily from me. Like you said, the magic can happen in the chat because I'm able to put those questions and the answers to those questions on the screen. And a lot of times it's not me, it's another creator who has another application. Like you mentioned Streamlabs today and OBS. There are other options for people to explore. In fact, I was watching you and your moderators dropped quite a few channel links. So make sure that you connect and rewatch so you can capture some of these depending on how you came into this stream. Mary, I want to thank you for joining us for Coffee and Conversations today. This has been
Lovely.
a lovely time, absolutely lovely on one of these hot days. I call this the August to me is the dog days of summer. But this has been perfectly lovely, is what I would say. So we're going to get out of here. I've got a full agenda, including putting the laundry in the dryer.
I
And
have
I
to
normally
too.
don't put my laundry in the dryer this late into the day. I grew up with a mama who taught us in the summer you do the washing late at night and early in the morning so it doesn't heat the house up. But now I have to be worried because it's so hot. The clothes could spoil. I don't know if you
Well,
know about that. Yeah.
I was raised in Florida. So my husband he was raised up in this area. So, up in
Okay.
Ohio and Indiana. And he'd go, oh, the trees. And the minute the fall leaves I'm like a kid in a candy store. I said, you don't understand. For 45 years, I spent it in Florida where everything was green and hot.
Hot.
I'm like, I just love it. The leaves turn. I'm like, oh, look at that. And I get like this childhood look on my face. I
Oh,
just
I love fall.
love it.
Fall's my favorite season.
Fall is
Love
I'll
autumn.
never get tired of it.
Yes, yes,
So
yes. Y'all, wherever you are, we wish you nothing but good tidings and have a great and wonderful day. I look forward to connecting with you and your audience. So many friends gathered this morning. I'm
yes,
amazed at the engagement in the chat. Thank you all for joining
wonderful.
us. And if you catch this on the replay, don't forget to leave us a comment so that we know that you stopped by. Y'all take good care. Goodbye for now.
Bye bye. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. And my mods, thank you so much. You guys are
Thank you
awesome.
so